Aloha Friday! Aloha Friday! So today's a really good day. Feeling a lot better than yesterday. So something good is definitely going on. Because yesterday I was in a small little tiny funk. I felt a little bit off a little bit. And that's okay. I have days like that. But today is a lot better. So it feels like spring. It feels like it's time to spring forward with the plans. And so this morning, I was reading a book called The Disappearance of the Universe, which is a prequel to A Course in Miracles. And one of the sentences, it wasn't even meant to be transcribed this way, but it's been on my mind a lot. So one of the sentences, it wasn't a highlight, but it said, what did it say? Create a trust for the Holy Spirit. Create a trust for the Holy Spirit. Create a trust for the Holy Spirit. And so for the layman's terms, that makes a lot of sense. You know, basic Christianity, basic, just everyone kind of catches that idea. But in our mind, Araya and I, we just got a consultation for a nonprofit, which is next week, I believe. And then we're in the next 6 months or so, we should have a nonprofit going up and running and become official. 508c1a private church nonprofit. And what we want is a trust, an irrevocable trust, or a trust. We haven't figured out what kind of trust, but definitely a trust that owns the nonprofit. And so for me, it was really interesting, and I want you guys to think about this. Now, half of our friends have nonprofits, which is cool, and that's fine. And most of them are 501c3s, public, which is fine, again, and there's pros and cons to that. And then very few of our friends, a small handful, have 508c1as, private, church, nonprofits, very few. And again, there's pros and cons to that, which is fine. But there's a small handful of our friends that have a trust, irrevocable trust, revocable trust, family God trust, whatever, however you want to put it. But I just thought it was really interesting that we're thinking about that right now as ownership of the nonprofit. Not us, not our names on top of the nonprofit, but the trust is on the nonprofit. And but it was interesting because this morning it said, build a trust for the Holy Spirit. And that kind of clicked with me. And I just want to share that with all of you, that you guys should take this into consideration. One, learning about how to build a family trust, a God trust. And then it's like dedicating it. It's almost like dedicating this trust for the Holy Spirit. So you create a trust and you dedicate it to the Holy Spirit. And you say, this trust is for you. I hope that makes sense. This trust that I create is for you. To put into this trust whatever you wish, filtered by whatever you wish. Whatever's inside of this trust is for thee. And it's not mine. And everything that you don't want in this trust won't be in here. And everything that you do want in this trust will be in here and dedicated to you, your purpose, your service, your plan. And I just thought that was an interesting timing on the universe. While I'm thinking about building a trust, well, Araya and I are thinking about building this trust that owns the nonprofit that owns the LLC, so that our names are not on anything, and it's controlled by everything, and everything's controlled by upstairs because it's a trust dedicated for that. And I just found that very interesting. I don't know everything about trust. So if everybody knows, any friends of ours knows more about trusts or how to set up a trust, we're not the cheap type of people. And so it's not a money thing, it's a liability thing. And so if you are a friend that's, I know we can set up our own paperwork. It's just a liability whether we set it up right or not, which we're not willing to take. And we're willing to pay more money. It's just like the nonprofit. We could have set it up ourselves with paperwork and save, you know, $1,000 or something like that. But it's not about saving money. because we know we're going to get a lot of money. That's not the issue. The issue is liability. Just in case it gets set up wrong, a legal team is now held liable, kind of like a CPA, a bookkeeper, or anything else. And so whatever it costs to set up the right trust the right way, we don't mind paying for it, but it's going to last forever. And so if any of our friends have experiences with trust and similar to what I'm saying, please contact us. And that's why we're going with a nonprofit, a consultation, and then setting it up with a legal team to file the paperwork to do it right and do it proper. It's going to last forever. This nonprofit that we're building. But yeah, that was just an interesting read this morning, and that really stuck out to me. To build a trust for the Holy Spirit. You know, all of us in human language want to say build a trust with the Holy Spirit, which is the same thing. But most people just think of it from this level, which is important. Having your trust with the Holy Spirit, of course, that's important. But not many of us think about having a trust, a trust, a lawful trust, not legal, lawful trust, and dedicating it to the Holy Spirit, dedicating it to multi-future generations, dedicating it to intergenerational wealth, dedicating it to the future 7 generations, not mine, basically. Just like the talents. Talentless in the beginning, God gives you talents. Did you bury your talents and not do it? Or did God give you talents, like give you thoughts and give you ideas and give you business ideas and entrepreneurship and whatever you're supposed to be doing? Did God give you thoughts, ideas, and what you're supposed to be doing? And did you bury it? Because you're the only one that can pull it off and no one else can, that's for sure. Or did you multiply it? Did you take it, run it, and do it? And then the most important thing at the end is, Father, all the talents that thou givest me, I have multiplied, and I give it back to thee. And because of that, thou good and faithful servant, all the talents that was once buried will be transferred to thee. Which is 1/3 of all the talents, if you saw the parable, the story, 1/3 of all the talents in the whole world, 1/3 of all of it in Siskiyou County, 1/3 of all the talents inside of Mount Shasta that is buried will be transferred to the one that knows how to multiply talents. It is mathematical. It is a spiritual law. And so I thought it was really interesting this morning when it said, create a trust for the Holy Spirit. And I thought, a family trust, a God trust, an irrevocable trust, some kind of trust. I don't know the structure yet, but I'm going to create a trust. And this trust will be dedicated for the Holy Spirit. So it can put whatever assets it wants in there and protect it long after I'm gone. So again, it fulfills the parable of all the talents thou givest me, I have multiplied, and I give it back to thee. Now this trust is going to own this nonprofit, this private nonprofit, official church, private nonprofit. Private means that if the government says don't stand 6 feet from each other and shut down all public churches, we don't have to shut down. That's what it means. It's lawful. It's constitutional. And that's why there's only a few people that ever set it up correctly and held strong during all the different changes that go on in the world, which is fine. And most people set up a 501, which is good. There's a lot of benefits to that too. But yeah, I just think that was interesting. That was an interesting download this morning. I'm grateful for it, and now we're going to run with it. And so I'm sharing that with you. If you have been called to set up a trust for your family, maybe consider setting it up with a filter that says, this trust, this family trust, is for you. It's for you. It's for you. Don't keep thinking it's for you, for me. It's for you. Whatever assets and wealth and all these things will be dedicated for thee and thy purposes and thy plan, thy mission, long after I'm gone. there's a lot of spiritual principles inside of a trust. So let's just pretend you did set up a trust for them upstairs. All your master, your sponsors, your teachers, ancestors, and friends. Right? Set it up for their good, their purpose. And now you become a trustee. You are the one that they entrust. You are the one that they trusted. You are the one that they are trusting. You are the one that you have their trust. Think of it. You gotta think about it, man. You have their trust because you set it up for them. Similar to on earth as it is in heaven. What is bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. What is loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Because you know yourself as a good steward. Father, all the talents, assets, prosperity that thou givest me, I have multiplied, and I give it back to thee. It's not mine. It's not ownership. It's stewardship. Alpha does not own any of these assets at all. Alpha's going to be gone in like 100 years or so. But these assets will spit through cash flow, will spit through all other assets that will build 7 generations deep, long after I'm gone. And so that's what I want to put this out there as a thought for. So if anybody has experience with trusts, please contact me so we can get a better idea, because we're setting one up. If anybody has more experience with 501, 508, C1A private church nonprofits, please reach out to me. More specifically, not so much that we can do it ourselves, but more so anybody that's ever paid to push liability off to another legal team to set it up correctly. We want to know your team so we can set it up, and then set up the trust, and then set up the nonprofit that set up the trust that owns the nonprofit, and then eventually we'll set up multiple LLCs owned by the nonprofit. So it should be a lot of fun. All right. So if anybody knows more about that stuff, I know that is the direction that we are definitely going. We know that. We just have to get all the paperwork and all the information, education about it coming in now at the beginning of spring, so that by the end of this year we should have a functional, legit nonprofit up and running. And if we can learn about the trust today, now, we should, hopefully by the end of the year we would have a up and running trust too. That would be extremely ideal. I just don't know how long the trust typically takes. So, love and light to all of you. I hope that inspired just one person. Just one person. Set up a trust for the Holy Spirit. Dedicate the trust for that cause. Set up all your nonprofits inside of that trust. To set up your LLCs around the nonprofit. That's where we're going right now, for now, until I figure out something else that's better than that strategy or that idea. Then that's where we're going. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, if you're thinking about setting up a trust, I want you to think of it like what I just said. Dedicate it that way. Filter it. Put the glasses on of the Holy Spirit. If it's not a good asset for the Holy Spirit's trust, don't get it. Don't buy it. Let it go. Who cares? But if it is a good asset for the Holy Spirit to multiply talents, help a bunch of people, and give it back to thee, then damn it, buy it and put it inside the trust. Seems like a pretty good decision maker filter. Less emotional. More easier to make a decision. And so, I don't know, try that. That should be fun. All right, love and light. And what is today? Friday. So tomorrow is grant writing at noon. So if there's any last minute things, tomorrow is our big meeting at noon. Anybody that's interested in grant writing at all, We probably got 5 or 7 of us together now. And spring is here and summer's coming. So the grant writing team will probably get to double digits in the next month, 2 or 3. And tomorrow is our luncheon. So anybody that wants to join the grant writing team, message me and I will send you my cell phone. I'll get your phone number. We'll have a quick chat, and then I'll send you off to Anastasia, and then she will put you inside the text. You call her, she call you, and a quick chat, and then we'll meet up for lunch, and it'll be fun. So that's tomorrow, Saturday, and that's it. I think so for now. All right, have a good day. Aloha Friday.